So, welcome back, all of you. Dinesh sir, am I audible for you? Dinesh sir, are you there? Atharva, if I'm audible for all of you, please put your remark in chat box. There is no as such technical problem, so that I can start over there because I had tried to contact Dinesh sir as a moderator over there, but he is not responding. Perhaps he might have some technical issue over there. So I hope that anyone can put your remark in chat box. So I'll get an idea. Am I audible or not? Please, in chat box you can put your remark. Dinesh, can you put your remark whether am I audible or not? I guess that I'm audible for you, and I'll. Am I audible, everyone? Dinesh sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And on your screen there is one introductory slide is there without any obstacle. If it is there, I can start it. Dinesh, is it okay?
Yes, sir. The slide
Okay.
is there.
Okay. So welcome back, all of you, dear students. As far as concerned with this second session, there was one technical issue was arised over there, and we are lagging behind almost by 12 minutes or perhaps more than that one. I think it is more time we had utilized because in previous session it was technically needed to get record should be get saved, and it took around 10 minutes time duration. So in second session, second lecture of this today, we are going to start with a new course. And as you know, under TY BSc botany course during semester 5 paper 1, I am going to deal with you. And very important part is that under this course code, that is USBO 501, there are total 4 units, as you know. Here out of that, the fourth unit I am going to deal with you today. But prior to that, some introductory information should be discussed with you, and that is nothing but what it consists of. This particular paper, plant diversity paper 3, what it consists of, this part I want to discuss with you. So as far as concerned with this particular lecture, when you join for this particular course means actual paper. Okay, so this is the beginning, this is the introductory part of it today's lecture. As you know, this is a paper 1, plant diversity. It covers actual 4 different you can say that taxons. One of them is a algae, second one it is a microorganisms, third one it is a fungus, and fourth one that particular part which we are discussing, that is related with a host and pathogen interaction. Means there are total 4 units assigned for your course, and at the end of this particular course, every student will able to have a knowledge about what way microbial diversity is existing in nature, and what are the different tools and techniques for isolating them and observing them or studying them. Second unit, it will help you to understand, and you will become much more able to identify a taxon, especially algal taxon, their life cycle, and you will able to identify them in lab as well as theoretically. Similarly, under third unit, you will able to find out a fungus which represents Bacillomycetes category, as well as you can say that a Detromycetes category. in what way they exist, diversification during their life cycle. This part will be also very well will explain, and you will able to see that part. As far as concerned with the fourth unit, it is a plant pathology, which will be a very important applied aspect of this particular syllabus. So these are the all these four units and their outcomes. So just now I have discussed with you microbiology, that will be the first unit. Algae, with reference to GM Smith classification system, we are going to follow all these contents. Third unit, as I had told you, that is related with the fungi, and there are two type specimens we are going to study, that is Agaricus, and second one is a Puccinia. Third one is a Alternaria. Fourth, it is very important one, and it is nothing but uh, you can say that plant pathology, unit number 4, and every unit it needs almost 15 lectures time duration. So as far as concerned with the today's session, I consider this is the second lecture actually, because the first lecture we utilized it for the orientation. So here some important points are there. I again request to each and every student over there, if you are utilizing the mobile phone, you can take a snapshot of this content also, because based on this it will be, there will be at the end attendance come, there will be a quiz, or you can simply called as a test will be there, and you are supposed to fill that one. As far as concerned with previous class, that is 9 to 9:48 lecture, uh, within this short time, and you can say that at lacking what is that time span, you, you were capable, it was possible for you to submit your answers within short time duration. In fact, I had noticed that one very well. 13 people they have submitted their assignment, or you simply called as attendance record over there within short time duration. So there are certain questions. Now level of the question, it may be perhaps little bit different rather than the previous session. So if you are getting the snapshot of this one, it will be for your reference purpose, and it may help you to fill your you can say that answers also. So as far as concerned with plant pathology, as I had told you that uh, it is nothing but applied branch of a plant sciences, or you can simply call it as a botany. Why I say it is a apply? Because it is having a real time application in day to day life of a farmer as well as a person who is having affinity toward the plants. So the plant pathology, this particular terminology has been get derived by means of a Greek meaning, that is pathos, or that is nothing but a suffering, and logos, that is nothing but actual study. So suffering of any individual that maybe gets studied, and if it is a plant, that is referred as a plant pathology. There is another terminology, that is etiology. We are discussing here etiology because as far as concerned with your syllabus, straightforward, by utilizing certain terminology, you are supposed to study different diseases, and these diseases may consist of more often different terminologies, and as it is not mentioned strictly in your syllabus, there is no separate chapter, there is introduction to the terminology of a pathological aspects. It may be very difficult for you people if we directly start with that, because in first year, second year, I don't know that you have came across with any pathological study over there. So terminology is very important, and after that we'll start with every disease, and at that time you will get familiar with these particular terminologies. So etiology, this is another important term more frequently utilized, that is mean for actual determination of a disease or its related factors over there. Of course, plant pathology and etiology is more often, it may be sometimes get confused with each other, but please remember that uh, overall broader aspect of plant disease and different conditions what are get existed over there due to that particular pathogen, that entire aspect it is covered under pathology, whereas etiology, it is related strictly or exclusively related with a determination and study of a cause of that particular disease. Means it is more often related with a causal organism or its aspect, and there are different factors which are related with it. So these all aspects that may be get considered under terminology etiology. Similarly, there are some other terms also, and they may be you can simply called as a pathogen. Now, as you know, the terminology, that is pathogen, it is nothing pathogen, or more often it is a living entity of course more often it is a living entity, but non-living entity that may be also responsible for inducing the disease. And therefore in such cases what happen, uh, uh, as you know that is non-living entity, it is nothing but a virus. So either it may be a living or non-living entity, both of them they may be causes a disease, and that is referred as a pathogen. And causal organism, it may be definitely living as well as a non-living, but sometime what happens, certain abiotic factors that maybe also get involved in this entire process. I'll tell you simple example of that one. The predisposing factor, this is one more terminology is existing, and it is more often related with uh, you can say that environmental conditions. Sometime what happen, there are certain insects or certain weeds are there that may be actually serve there as a spreading agent over there, and that's why under this pathogenicity there will be another terminology in what way disease may be get induced. Just 1 minute, give me a time, because some slides are not get moving over there. I have to just check that one. Okay, so this is the what next terminology I was discussing, that is a pathogen and causal organism. Both of them they are more often closely related with each other. So pathogen, it is, as I had told you, living or non-living entity, and that is responsible for causing the disease. Whereas causal organism, it is a generalized term or broader term. It describes that living or non-living factors over there, and it is responsible for inducing the disease as well as related symptoms over there. And more often the causal organism, it is at broader sense considered as a biotic in origin. So in this way, depending upon their severity or non-severity, in what way, depending upon the intensity of the infection, there may be a virulent or non-virulent pathogen it may be get considered. Terminology like as a pathological or pathogenic, these are nothing but the conditions. In what way there is a dysfunctioning or abnormality is there, accordingly it may be a physiological state, sorry, pathological state. Whereas pathogenic condition, or you can simply that say that a terminology pathogenic, that is nothing but responsible for inducing the disease, that is pathogenic. So in this way, certain terminologies they may be get more frequently utilized, and all of you know that next term is a host. So host, it is more often, as it is a plant pathology, it is a plant. If it is a animal pathology or human pathology, host will be the human being or animal. So it's very simple one. But interesting part to know about the host is that this host, it may be considered as with respect to or with reference to excuse me, with reference to its ability to show certain responses to the pathogen. Accordingly it may be a resistant to that pathogen, it may be tolerance to that pathogen, or it may be susceptible to the pathogen. So such different terminology that may be get also utilized during due course of a time of our lectures. So there are two important things we have to focus over there, and first one, it is nothing but a sign and symptoms. So basically whenever any host is get infected, if any host is get attacked by a causal organism or disease inducing factor or disease inducing agent, what are the states of that particular plant or organism individual are going to show. So more often cyanide is nothing but a appearance, or it may be a physical evidence of in what way causal factor or causal organism has induced the abnormalities. So signs are nothing but physical evidences which represents the damage is caused by the certain factor, that is causal factor. And as I have told you that causal factor, it may be biotic or it may be the abiotic agent also. And therefore it may be consist of either pest, it is responsible for inducing the disease. I'll tell you a simple example. There are certain insects which sucks the sap of the plant, and they multiple plants are there for them, their feeding purpose, but that carries certain viruses from plant to plant. So in that way, disease causing factor here it is an insect. Similarly, there may be pest, or it may be the insect, or certain spores. They directly spores, they are nothing but the causal organism directly. So either it may be the biotic or it may be the abiotic. So sign, it is very important. Please keep this term sign in your mind, because symptoms, when we say another terminology, that is symptoms, you just look at the pictures which I have projected here. So if you look at the figure 1, there is a slimy structure which is slimy mucilaginous content. It is stretched out over there. So it is nothing but one of the symptom. This is actually characteristic feature of a infection caused by the bacterium, and basically it is in a xylem tissue. It shows some oozing over there. That is a one symptom. Second one, purposely these three slides are showing the bacterial symptoms. In case of wheat plant, you can find it out that there is a bacterial leaf blight. If it takes place, it shows oozing on the leaf surface. You can see that droplets are there. Similarly, here is a gall like structure. It may be get observed, and this is nothing but uh, actual interesting symptom referred as a crown gall disease. So in short, what we can say that symptoms, they may be varied, and here classically I have given you bacterial symptoms over there. So what is exactly symptom then? So symptoms are nothing but the uh, actually visible or observed characters. Okay, these characters are related with the abnormalities or certain abnormal changes. So due to a pathogen or due to a causal organism, some abnormal abnormal characters, they are observed. Okay, or in short, you can say that the responses shown by the plants in such a way that they induces certain abnormal features in comparison to the healthy features. So these are more often referred as a symptoms. So these symptoms, always please keep in your mind, I am repeating this part. These are the responses which we can visualize, which we can observe with naked eye. Okay, and they are the responses toward the biotic or abiotic factors which are actually working there as a disease causing agent, and abnormality may be get found over there. So in this way, the symptom, this is the another terminology. Syndrome, there is another one. So in short, please mute yourself. There is background voice is coming out. Please mute yourself. Now, when we say that biotic or abiotic factors, we had discussed about that particular part. So please keep in your mind, when we say a term pathogen, okay, so pathogen or causal organism that is always trying to survive, because pathogen itself is a more often responsible for feeding upon a host. Okay, it may be fungus, it may be the bacterium, or it may be the virus. Okay, it needs a support of a host system. So so under what condition this support may be get gained, and to know about this particular thing, you should focus on some important terminologies. I think some background voice is there, so please mute yourself. I think Yadvendra, please I think just check over there. Please mute yourself, huh? Please mute yourself. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, thank you. So uh, I was discussing about in what way pathogen or causal organism will try to survive. So there are certain factors, they are essential, which are nothing but the environmental factors. So environmental factors, they are either responsible to encourage the activity of a pathogen, or it may be the discourage. Means if they are suitable, pathogen may be get survive more luxuriantly. If they are unfavorable, they are discouraged for their lively activities. In short, the environmental conditions, they are having very important role toward a host interaction, host and pathogens interaction. So more often the disease, it can be studied with reference to environmental influences. Apart from that, there are some other factors also, like as temperature, moisture, wind, light, soil pH, and so on. So they are, in addition to that, nutrient factors, they are very important. If they are lacking or they are imbalanced, the factors which are essential for a healthy growth of a plant, if they are get altered, if they are get suffered, what happens? They may be leading to susceptibility, or is simply called as a disease infection. So in short, what I have explained so far in relation with the terminologies, that is nothing but the factors, environmental factors especially, they how they are important, how they are playing important role in um, inducing the disease. Uh, in addition to this, as I had told you that uh, pathogen is there, that is causal organism. Host is there, which is always gets suffered. And if conditions are favorable, there is environment. Means these are the three factors which are three components which are always interacting with each other, and therefore the disease triangle may be get established. So always keep in your mind this is triangle, disease triangle. This is more often studied by most of the pathologists over there. So the existence of a disease with response to biotic factors or biotic agents is more often require the host actually. Means susceptible host should be there. It is not a host, because host may be of either resistant or it may be the susceptible or tolerant also. So susceptible host should be there, virulent pathogen should be there, and environmental conditions should be favorable. If all these factors they are uh, happening in nature properly, then only disease may be get established. Now if you look at this particular triangle, any one of them, if it is get eradicated from this particular aspect, what will happen? Suppose pathogen nahi hai, what will happen? Host or environment, they will remain healthy. Okay. If pathogen is there and host is also there, but environmental conditions are not suitable, disease existence will never take place. You are getting this point? Now this was the classical example of a disease triangle, but what happened nowadays? The fourth important factor has been get added over there, and that is nothing but a adequate time. Because with change in time, because if pathogen is existing and time is not enough over there, environmental conditions are suitable, host is also available, but adequate time is not available, definitely this particular aspect will be not completed, that there will be no disease induction. Similarly, pathogen, vice versa, pathogen and host are available, but environmental conditions, okay, where suppose say for example 25-degree temperature should be there for that particular pathogen interaction, and 25 degrees celsius temperature condition existed for a shorter time duration, not adequate for, which was required for the 24 hours, and if it happens for the only 5 hours, disease will be never produced over there. So by, in addition to these three factors, time is one more, and that's why based on that one, disease quadrangle concept has been get also introduced. So with this information, I'll suggest that you will having a little bit idea about what is disease and in what way it may be takes place. So transmission is another terminology. That is nothing but in what way pathogen or disease causing organism is get transferred during, there are various activities by which we perform the agriculture practices. One of them is a grafting. During that injury maybe takes place, disease maybe get transmitted. Dissemination or spread, it is nothing but a dispersal actually. So what happen more often, uh, from distant place or for longer places, the disease causing organism may be get traveled, and for that purpose certain intermediate factors may be required, and they are nothing but the vectors. Okay, insect, mites or nematodes, they may be also play significant role over there. But there are various mechanism by which transmission or dissemination that may be takes place over there. So either it may be the fungal spores, or it may be the bacteria or their fragments that may be get travels for distant places. Now there are some other important terminologies. One of them is the infection, and second one is the infestation. Infection terminology, perhaps you may know it very well. It is nothing but establishing the contact, physical contact of that particular pathogen within that host tissue or host cell. As a result of it, it start to get absorb the nutrients for benefit, its own benefits. That is a selfish nature of pathogen. It leads the infection within the tissue, and later on it may get colonizes, and you can find out externally certain symptoms. Whereas infestation, it is nothing but the actual establishment or running over, you can simply call it as, on the surface of a host on large number. More often what happen, number of insects, they maybe get gathered on that particular plant, and they start to feed upon, as it is in their routine practice of feeding on the plants. Okay, so during that what happen, there may be a chance of transmission of certain, you can say that fragments or spores or filaments of that pathogen. So in that way infestation maybe takes place. Whereas epidemic, that is another terminology nowadays. Global or pandemic, COVID-19 global pandemic, you have noticed that one. Similarly epidemic, that is nothing but the unarrested phase actually, or is simply called as a widespread of infectious disease. So disease which may be get spread, but on broader you say that area, that is referred as a epidemics. So epidemic, this is another terminology, and study of epidemic, it is referred more often as the epidemiology. So those diseases which may be causes infectious, they are more often referred as a epidemic diseases. Now, purposely I have given some sources of diseases. Next part, what we have to discuss, that is nothing but a disease cycle actually, but with reference to the three organisms. I am not putting here nematodes. In your syllabus, fungi, bacteria, and viruses are included over there. So, what is required actually for? Uh, just a minute. One more slide was skipped away, unfortunately. Okay. There are three basic phases. One is infection, second one is a dispersal, and third one is a survival. Okay, so infection is get caused by means of a pathogen. So in what way it may be takes place? If you say in case of a fungi, it may be directly happen by means of entry natural openings like as a stomata. It may be through the injuries or wounds, or by means of insect feeding. Bacteria, they cannot shows direct infection, neither in case of viruses by, okay, but insect feeding, it is one of the common criteria for the disease cycle induction in fungi, bacteria, viruses. Whereas dispersal, it may be takes place by means of a biotic factor like as wind, rain, and biotic factor like as an insect. So biotic factor, insect, it is common for all these three type of or three category of diseases: fungal, bacterial, and viral diseases. Whereas I'm talking about the plant diseases. Please keep in your mind, viral disease means plant diseases. Now, in case of once, now dispersal is very essential. Pathogen is there. Pathogen has get established its own physical contact over there, starting to absorb the nutrient. At the same time, what is happening? It has colonized itself. And as a result of it, various symptoms may be get induced. Now we will discuss about what type of symptoms are there later on. Here, once such type of contact is get established over there, what will happen? Uh, there should be a survival of this particular pathogen, and this pathogen may be get survive by means of various sources. It may be a alternative host, it may be within soil, or it may be the crop residues. But in case of bacteria and viruses, it survives there in a insect vectors also. So this particular aspect you should remember, because with reference to this particular aspect we are going to discuss the disease cycle also. So I hope that you are getting an idea about a disease cycle also. Now there are different inocula, as I had told you that the soil is there, then seeds. If it is means propagating material, that may be one of the source. Okay, the material where you are going to sow, that is the soil, that background, it will be also one of the inoculum. So similarly, some garden equipments are there, or you can say that agriculture equipments or tools are there, that may be served there as a inoculum. So agricultural practices, if source itself, that is a soil, it may be having a infected propagules, it may causes disease, or it may be a propagating material, it may causes disease. So pathogen, it should remain there for longer time, then only disease may be takes place, that is survival. So by considering these three aspects, if it is get survive over there, whenever conditions are suitable, the spore may be get landed on a area suitable entry points. It penetrate itself by means of a germination process. It proliferate its shorter mycelial structures. Later on, it is get further pustules or injuries may be get established on the outer surface, or internally it produces a proliferation. As a result of it, finally at the end of a maturity, it produces a sporulation. So in this way, disease may be get takes place. So primary inoculum is there. It maybe get repeated again next spores, and it in this way it produces a secondary cycle. So primary or secondary cycles that may be get existed over there. So these are the certain references which you can utilize for this particular aspect. One more point which I have forget to tell you about the certain symptoms. There are, this is what I have told you about that disease cycle. Okay, so this is very important. You can take a snapshot of this one. The stages of disease cycles are appearance, how the pathogen appears over there. Okay, appearance of the characters. It then followed by that it develops its structure. Just now last slide what I have showed you, that spores get landed, it germinate, it means that is the appearance, then it germinate, it produces a hostelry like structure development. In this way, these are the certain important stages of disease cycle you have to keep in your mind. So in short, what is disease cycle? It is nothing but some important sequential or distinct phases or distinct events in a life cycle of that particular pathogen. So that is nothing but a diseases. So these are the certain symptoms I had showed you. In short, if I want to summarize today's discussion, pathogen, it may be bacterial, or it may be the fungal type, or it may be the viral type, or it may be nematodes also. There are some terminologies like as what is host, what it resistant, tolerant, or it may be the susceptible. Sign, what is the difference between sign and symptoms? I had told you that one. Okay, sign and symptom, it is very important one. So symptom, they are nothing but the visible responses toward the biotic and abiotic factors which results into the abnormalities. Please keep in your mind, I am summarizing this part which may help you to solve today's questionnaire also. So environmental factors, they are very important to induce a disease. So accordingly, it may be either disease triangle or it may be the disease quadrangle. Quadrangle, this is very recently evolved concept. Classically, it was more often referred as a disease triangle. So what is the fourth dimension in a quadrangle? Apart from the host, pathogen and environment, there is nothing but a time, adequate time. This is what summary. During disease cycle, you have to keep in your mind, inoculum, there is a source, has to be get dispersed, it has to be get landed on a particular pathogen, colonization takes place, it induces certain symptoms, and followed by that, under certain conditions, it has to be get survive there, otherwise this chain will be get broken. At present, we are experiencing the COVID-19, we are trying to break the chain. Okay, so for any disease cycle, completion of a disease cycle, there should be a survival of that particular pathogen. Okay, same is thing here in case of a plant also. Why we are going to study disease cycle? Because once all these concepts, sequential events, if you understood, what will happen, we'll easily get control that disease, or we'll try to prevent that disease or dissemination. So toward this particular aspect, I'll share with you one a link, and this link is meant for actual, you can say that today's questions answers come attendance. So please refer this link. Everyone can see here the link, it is kept in a chat box. Dinesh sir, can you answer me? Is it visible for you at present? Dinesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. So dear students, please you can refer this particular link. You can click and you will get that particular form open. Take your time. Within that time, you can see carefully whatever maybe I had discussed with you, and please utilize that time to understand the concept. Okay, so if you're having any doubt or difficulty, you can ask it to me directly instead of putting it into the you can say that a chat box. There should be an open discussion. Now whatever maybe time is there, 3 to 4 minutes are there, we'll discuss about that one. Today actually it was a little bit shortage of the time, and that's why it was very difficult for me also to compensate it. But next lecture onward, we'll try to compensate by means of 30 minutes and 5 to 6 minutes discussion itself. So I'm going to unmute everyone, please. Okay, if you are having any doubt or difficulty, try to respond me, if any question, if it is there in your mind. Kapil, Muskan,
Yes, sir.
uh,
Sir, it is showing that you have already responded. The new questions are not coming. It is showing the score of the last questions only.
no, at present what I have shared with you. Okay, so this is a new link.
Yes.
This is the new link, or it is
No,
previous. Okay, previous one, you have got the previous one. Okay, recent link I have.
yeah.
Okay, forget that one, I'll share you. Sorry, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
just check it. Okay, now this is the
Yes, sir.
second one what I
Yes,
have
yes.
shared with you is recent link, you can utilize that one. and be free,
Okay.
okay, and be free. Whenever you are having any doubt or difficulty, you please ask that question. In fact, you will get familiar, there will be an option that is raising the hand over there. If you are having any doubt during lecture itself, don't wait till the end of class. You can raise your hand. I'll notice that particular part and I'll respond to your answers also. Is that clear? Do you have any difficulty in getting the link?
No, so now I got.
Okay, okay, okay. Lubna, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Getting it, na?
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. I think in previous class there was one difficulty to join. One of the student, Rutuja,
Yes, sir.
any doubt, difficulty?
No.
Okay, okay. Atharva, what happened?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone has faced the problem during previous class?
No.
Okay, good. I'll keep this our WhatsApp group open for the discussion. Now, very important announcement I am doing. I'll give you on WhatsApp one link. There is one my website is there also. You can refer that website. You will get study material as well as the content apart from the Google class also. So thank you very much for your kind patience. I hope that you will submit your Google form as a attendance and see you during next class or next lecture. Any doubt, difficulty, you can put it in the WhatsApp group. So I am very much thankful to all of you for your kind patience as well as listening. Thank you very much.